Aloha everybody, welcome to today's video where I'll be talking about my book and give you a little bit of background information as to why I wrote it. If you're new here, I'm Tracie and welcome to my Hawaii channel where I talk about Hawaiian culture, history, language, current events, and answer your questions with aloha. So let's get started. When I first started writing this book, little did I know we would be hit with a global pandemic and a social injustice problem with George Floyd that made me aware of the Black Lives Matter movement. Up until that point, I never heard about it. Initially, when I started writing the book, I just meant for it to be a story about my life, an autobiography. But as I continued to write, a couple of things happened. There were these recurring themes that kept coming up, which was race, racism, stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. And so shortly after that, I came up with the title, which was, of course, Life and Race Through the Eyes of a Brownish Local Girl, Tita. Now, life and race, which is life for my life, and race because I'm a Hawaiian. Through the eyes of a brownish, I call myself brownish because in the book I talk about my ethnicity, which is Hawaiian, considered brown, Japanese, considered yellow, and Filipino, considered sometimes yellow, sometimes brown. I thought to myself, brown, yellow, and this unknown color mixed together is kind of like a yellowish brown or brownish yellow. Brownish. That's how I came up with the title. And local girl, of course, if you're from the islands or been here for a long time and you're a female, then you're considered a local girl. Now, as I was writing the book, I realized that a couple things were very important to me. And at the time, I had been reading Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. And she talks about our core values or what's most important. My core values and the things that are most important to me are, number one, belonging, which is part of my Hawaiian culture and what I identify with, a Hawaiian woman born and raised in Hawaii. And the second thing is my faith or my spirituality. And the third value that's important to me is justice. That is the reason that I dedicated this book to those who have been treated unfairly, experienced injustice, or even death here in the islands. And so this book is dedicated to people like Queen Lili, uokalani, our last reigning monarch, was overthrown and imprisoned in her own home. 5 men that were falsely accused of a crime they didn't commit. Joseph Kahahavai, Ben Ahakuelo, Horace Ida, David Takai, and Henry Chang. And also another man who was murdered by a U.S. federal agent, and his name is Colin Elderts. I hope that you'll get a chance to read my book, tell your friends, and then leave your comments and your questions below. And in an upcoming video real soon, I'll address those comments and your questions. Until next time, mahalo for joining me today, and aloha. Ahui ho.